Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Sunday, October 28th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 4 of the World Series between the Red Sox and the Dodgers. Go over all the college football games briefly, NBA, NHL, and look ahead to today's NFL slate. All right, World Series, Game 4. Last night, after being down 4-0, the Red Sox come from behind and win by a score of 9-6. They have a 3-1 series lead. Joe Kelly gets the win. Dylan Fleur with the loss. Bottom of the sixth, the scoring began. Fielder's choice by Cody Bellinger on a bad error. That allows a run to score. 1-0 Dodgers. The throwing error was on Christian Vasquez because it was bases loaded. They threw home, and then he threw over the head of Steve Pearce as the run scored to make it 1-0. Then that's followed up by a 3-run shot by Yasiel Puig to make it 4-0. Top of the seventh, here come the Sox. 3-run shot. Mitch Moreland made it 4-3. Top of the eighth, Steve Pearce homer off of Kenley Jansen ties that 4-piece. Top of the ninth, RBI single. Rafael Devers 5-4. And what was so far the biggest hit of this series, bases clearing double. Steve Pearce 8-4 Sox. And that follows it up by an RBI single by Xander Bogaerts to make it 9-4. Bottom of the ninth, Kike Hernandez hits a home run to make it 9-6. But Boston hangs on, and they are one win away from their fourth World Series championship in this century. And tonight is Game 5. You have David Price against Clayton Kershaw. This was supposed to be Chris Sale's game, but it's David Price's game. Clayton Kershaw pitches better in his home ballpark in the postseason rather than on the road. I think they force a Game 6. I picked Boston in 6. That's what I think it's going to be. So, Dodgers win to force a Game 6 in Fenway Park to make my prediction look very good of Boston in 6. All right, college football. A lot of results yesterday. I'm going to go through the results, and then I'm going to say one little takeaway from each game. Vanderbilt defeats Arkansas 45-31. Vandy looks like they're going to be bowl eligible. Michigan State defeats Purdue 23-13. Classic letdown spot for Purdue, as I predicted. Iowa State defeats Texas Tech 40-31. Great win for Matt Campbell and the Clones. Number 2, Clemson defeats Florida State 59-10. Boy, is Clemson this good, and boy, is the Seminoles this bad. Wake Forest defeats Louisville 56-35. I have no idea why Louisville is a favorite here. Northwestern upsets number 20 Wisconsin 31-17. No Alex Hornibrook for Wisconsin due to a concussion. Northwestern takes advantage. Northwestern looks like they're going to be a bowl team. UMass defeats UConn 22-17. Both two terrible teams. Army defeats Eastern Michigan 37-22. I don't get why Army was a dog in some places to begin the week. Akron defeats Central Michigan 17-10. Akron gets the win in the cover to get their 4th win of the season as Central Michigan drops to 1-8. Nebraska defeats Bethune-Cookman 45-9. That's their 2nd straight win after an 0-5 start. I'm sorry, it was 0-6. Virginia defeats North Carolina 31-21. Good win for Bronco Mendenhall's team, who is at the top of the Atlantic Coastal Conference Coastal Division. Charlotte upsets Southern Miss 20-17. Charlotte's been an upset machine this year, especially in their home building. Coastal Carolina defeats Georgia State 37-34. Coastal looks like a team that might be headed for a bowl game. Oregon State upsets Colorado 41-34 in overtime. Great win for Jonathan Smith in that program. Kansas upsets TCU 27-26. Another great win for Dave Beaty's. But my question is, does this ultimately save him his job? Number 7, Georgia defeats number 9, Florida 36-17. Great win for Georgia. Big one next week against Kentucky. Arizona State defeats USC 38-35. Wouldn't be shocked if Clay Helton's fired within the next 24 hours, to be honest. Maryland defeats Illinois 63-33. Impressive win for Matt Canada's team. Number 17, Penn State defeats number 18, Iowa 30-24. Good win for James Franklin. And Kirk Ferentz's team, in all likelihood, is out of the competition for the college football playoff. Number 8, Oklahoma defeats Kansas State 51-14. Oklahoma's a team that's certainly in the mix to be in the college football playoff. Pitt defeats Duke 54-45. Good win for Pitt, considering the circumstances and the shootings in Pittsburgh. They played hard and they got an inspiring win. I picked Pitt to win the game. And obviously the shootings happened yesterday. And I have actually picked Pitt before that. Middle Tennessee defeats Old Dominion 51-17. Impressive win for the Blue Raiders. Northern Illinois upsets BYU 7-6. That was an ugly game. Good win for Northern Illinois. Cincinnati defeats SMU 26-20 in overtime. I knew that game would be competitive. Houston kills number 21 USF 57-36. There was a rumor before the game that Ed Oliver wasn't going to play. He ultimately played. Houston wins. USF is a fraud. Number 12, Kentucky defeats Missouri 15-14 on the final play of the game. It was a 2-yard touchdown pass that won the Wildcats the game. They have a big one this week coming up against Georgia at home. North Texas defeats Rice 41-17. Another win for a CUSA team over one of the bottom feeders in that conference. Utah State defeats New Mexico 61-19. Impressive win for the Aggies. Cal upsets number 15 Washington 12-10. Ugly game. Wasn't expecting this low scoring of a game. And that is a big win for Cal as they're 5-3. They're a win away from being bowl eligible. San Jose State defeats UNLV 50-37. Impressive win for San Jose State, their first of the year. Mississippi State defeats Texas A&M 28-13. Impressive win for the Bulldogs. Number 14, Washington State defeats number 24, Stanford 41-38. The Cougars are certainly still in the mix for the college football playoff. Syracuse upsets number 22, NC State 51-41. Good win for Dino Babers and company. Texas State defeats New Mexico State 27-20. Texas State gets their first win of the year. Tulane defeats Tulsa 24-17. I thought Tulsa would win the game. I was wrong. Louisiana upsets Arkansas State 47-43. It was a mild upset. It was a 3-point spread in favor of Arkansas State. Good win for Louisiana. 2 more wins away from being bowl eligible. Boise defeats Air Force 48-38. Good win for Boise. I thought Air Force would keep it close. South Carolina defeats Tennessee 27-24. It was a good hold on to your life game for South Carolina. Tennessee, I still think, has an outside chance of winning 3 more games. FIU defeats Western Kentucky 38-17. Good win for FIU. UAB defeats UTEP 19-0. You got to take care of the inferior teams. That's what UAB did. Number 3, Notre Dame defeats Navy 44-22. Impressive win for Notre Dame. Oklahoma State upsets number 6 Texas 38-35. Great win for Mike Gundy. Texas, I think, is out of the conversation for the college football playoff now. Arizona defeats number 19 Oregon 44-15. Impressive win for Kevin Sumlin. Fresno State defeats Hawaii 50-20. Huge win for Fresno. Impressive too. Nevada upsets San Diego State 28-24. Good win for Nevada. Another upset I predicted. Breaking NBA news. The Cavaliers have fired Ty Lue. This was something I predicted before the season, but I certainly didn't have him as first coach fired. And I did not think it'd come this soon. They are winless on the season. They're 0-6, so it doesn't shock me. that he's fired necessarily. I thought if any coach was getting fired today, it'd be Clay Helton, but it ends up being Ty Lue. And yet again, this shows that LeBron James is certainly the most powerful and valuable figure in the NBA and makes bad coaches look average and average coaches look good. And Ty Lue is yet another example. I don't think Luke Walton's going to get fired necessarily, speaking of coaches on the hot seat. But everyone's talking about him because LeBron's there and they're 2-4. And we'll get to the NBA results right now. I think the intern coach will probably be somebody on Cleveland's staff. And the way the league's going, that they'll probably hire somebody's good assistant or one of their own assistants. Because, like I said, that's how the league's going. Nick Nurse was a member of Dwayne Casey's staff. He's obviously the coach of the Raptors now. Lloyd Pierce, the new coach of the Hawks, was on the staff of Brett Brown's in Philadelphia. Dave Fizdale used to be the coach of the Grizzlies, and that's another way teams are going. Coaches that were fired due to star players wanting them gone. Dave Fizdale's a good example in Memphis, and then New York took advantage. And the Knicks are 1-5, but they're playing hard almost every game, and Fizdale is a big reason why for that. And the other one was Mike Budenholzer, that was stupidly fired from the Hawks, but I get why he was fired. He was fired because they're rebuilding. And Milwaukee took advantage and hired him, and I think he'll make a big difference with the Bucks this year, and it's already shown. Now I'm going to go over all the NBA results from last night. We'll get into more of the Cavs coaching situation on future podcasts. The Celtics defeated the Pistons 109-89. They hand the Pistons their first loss as they dropped to 4-1. Boston is 4-2. Jaylen Brown led the season scoring 19 points in 25 minutes. Gordon Hayward had 15 points in 24 minutes. Each of Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Kyrie Irving combined for 13. Marcus Morris off the bench, 18 points in 25 minutes. Daniel Theis, 17 points in 19 minutes. Terry Rozier, 14 points in 27 minutes off the bench. Andre Drummond, 18 points, 8 rebounds in 29 minutes. Stanley Johnson, 16 points in 27 minutes. The Jazz defeated the Pelicans 132-111. Anthony Davis did not play in this game, so that is why the Pelicans were handed their first loss as they dropped to 4-1. As Utah improves to 3-2. Good job by Utah taking advantage of that. I was confused why Utah was favored in that game, and now we know why. Ricky Rubio, off to a fantastic start this season. 28.6 boards and 12 assists in 30 minutes. Rudy Gobert, 25 points, 14 boards in 31 minutes. Donovan Mitchell, 22 points, 6 assists in 33 minutes. Dante Exum off the bench, 11 points in 18 minutes. Nikola Mirotic, 25 points, 8 boards in 28 minutes. Drew Holiday, 18 points in 29 minutes. Julius Randle, 12 points in 19 minutes. Frank Jackson off the bench, 14 points in 23 minutes. Jahlil Okafor off the bench, 11 points in 14 minutes. The Bulls defeated the Hawks 97-85. The Bulls go to 2-4. Atlanta's 2-3. Zach LaVine continues his early case for most improved player, 27 points and 11 rebounds in 35 minutes. Justin Holiday, 12 points in 37 minutes. Wendell Carter Jr., 10 points and 10 boards in 22 minutes. Jabari Parker, 18 points, 8 boards in 34 minutes. And also off the bench, Ryan Arikiakano, 13 points in 31 minutes. And for Atlanta, Taurean Prince led them in scoring, 16 points, 5 boards in 35 minutes. Trae Young, 13 points in 30 minutes. Vince Carter, 12 points in 23 minutes. Dwayne Dedmon off the bench, 13 points in 27 minutes. The Pacers defeat the Cavs 119-107. This game led to the firing of Ty Lue, as we just discussed. Indiana's 4-2, Cleveland's 0-6. Bojan Bogdanovic, 25 points in 32 minutes. Thaddeus Young, 10 points in 33 minutes. Miles Turner and Darren Collison, 15 points each. Turner, 28 minutes. Collison, 30 minutes. Victor Oladipo, 24 points in 37 minutes. Domantas Sabonis off the bench, 15 points, 5 boards in 21 minutes. Cleveland, Kevin Love didn't play again. Rodney Hood, 17 points in 29 minutes. George Hill, 14 points in 29 minutes. C.D. Osman, 10 points in 32 minutes. Larry Nance Jr., 15 points in 23 minutes. Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton each had 12. Sexton, 23 minutes, and Clarkson, 20 minutes. The 76ers defeated the Hornets 105-103. Philly is 3-3. Charlotte's 3-4. Joel Embiid, 27 points, 14 boards in 37 minutes. Ben Simmons, 14 points, 12 boards in 32 minutes. Markelle Fultz, 10 points, 4 boards, 4 assists in 25 minutes. J.J. Redick off the bench, 15 points in 32 minutes. Dario Saric, 11 points in 31 minutes. Robert Covington, 18 points, 10 boards in 36 minutes. And for Charlotte, Kemba Walker, 37.6 boards, 6 assists on 35 minutes, and 11 for 31 shooting, 3 for 15 from 3, though. Jeremy Lamb, 12 points in 29 minutes. Cody Zeller, 12 points in 26 minutes. Miles Bridges off the bench, 14 points in 30 minutes. The Heat defeated the Blazers 120-111. Impressive win for the Miami Heat as they go to 3-2. Portland drops to 3-2. Goran Dragic, 28 points, 35 minutes. Josh Richardson, 11 points, 36 minutes. Ronnie McGruder, 14 points, 33 minutes. Kelly Olynyk, 19 points, 5 boards, 5 assists in 29 minutes. Dwayne Wade, 19 points in 21 minutes off the bench. Justice Winslow, 10 points, 5 boards, 19 minutes off the bench. Dame Lillard, 42 points in 37 minutes. CJ McCollum, 19 points in 36 minutes. Zach Collins, 13 points, 4 boards off the bench in 24 minutes. The Grizzlies defeated the Suns 117-96. Grizzlies are 3-2. Phoenix is 1-4. Marc Gasol, 19 points, 8 boards in 31 minutes. Mike Conley, 18 points, 7 assists in 28 minutes. Garrett Temple, 15 points in 24 minutes. Wayne Selden, 14 points in 25 minutes off the bench. Marshawn Brooks off the bench, 18 points in 19 minutes. DeAndre 8 in 24 points, 8 boards, 5 assists in 33 minutes. Isaiah Cannon, 11 points, 4 boards, 4 assists in 30 minutes. Jamal Crawford off the bench, 11 points in 13 minutes. Eki Okobo off the bench, 12 points in 18 minutes. Devin Booker did not play. The Bucks defeated the Magic 113-91. Milwaukee is 6-0. Orlando is 2-4. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 21 points, 7 boards, and 1 assist in 19 minutes. He didn't play that much because this was a blowout. Chris Middleton, 18 points in 27 minutes. Malcolm Brogdon, 16 points, 4 boards in 30 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo off the bench, 15 points in 18 minutes. Pat Connaughton, 10.6 boards in 19 minutes off the bench. Nikola Vucevic, 16 points, 9 boards in 21 minutes. DJ Augustine, 11 points in 22 minutes. Evan Fournier, 10 points in 27 minutes. Jonathan Simmons, 10 points, 4 boards, 3 assists in 17 minutes off the bench. The Spurs defeated the Lakers 110-106. The Spurs are 3-2. The Lakers are 2-4, and 2 of those losses have come against the Spurs. DeMar DeRozan, 30 points, 12 boards, 8 assists in 39 minutes. Bryn Forbes, 16 points in 31 minutes. LaMarcus Aldridge, 15 points, 5 boards in 33 minutes. Rudy Gay, 16 points in 33 minutes off the bench. Pau Gasol, 12 points, 11 boards. I'm sorry, that's the other way around. 11 points, 12 boards, and 17 minutes off the bench. Patty Mills off the bench, 10 points in 25 minutes. And for the Lakers, LeBron, 35 points, 11 boards, 4 assists in 34 minutes. Kyle Kuzma, 15 points, 4 boards in 31 minutes. Lance Stevenson off the bench, 14 points, 9 boards in 23 minutes. Rajon Rondo off the bench, 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists in 29 minutes. 4 games on today's slate. 5 o'clock, you have the Warriors and the Nets from Brooklyn. 7 o'clock, Jazz Mavs, Suns Thunder. OKC looking for their first win of the year. 9:30, Wizards Clippers. Hockey. Yesterday was a pretty big slate. The Habs defeated the Bruins 3-0. Impressive win for Montreal as they go to 6-2-2. Boston 6-3-2. Number 1 star of the game with 33 saves on 33 shots, Carey Price. Number 2 star of the game with a goal, Brendan Gallagher. And the number 3 star of the game with no points, but he just played a good game, Ryan Donato. The Devils defeated the Panthers 3-2. The Devils are 5-2-1. Florida's 2-4-3. Number 1 star of the game with a goal and assist, Kyle Palmieri. Number 2 star of the game with 35 saves on 37 shots, Keith Kincaid. Number 3 star of the game with 2 assists, Nico Hischier. The Isles defeated the Flyers 6-1. Impressive win for the Islanders as they go to 4-4-1. Phillies 4-7. Number 1 star of the game with a goal and 3 assists, Anders Lee. Number 2 star of the game with 2 goals, Brock Nelson. Number 3 star of the game with a goal and an assist, Adam Pelech. The Oilers defeated the Predators 5-3. Impressive win for the Oilers as they go to 5-3-1. Nashville's 8-3. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Leon Draisaitl. Number 2 star of the game with 3 goals, Philip Forsberg. Number 3 star of the game with a goal and assist, Connor McDavid. The Capitals defeated the Flames 4-3 in a shootout. The Caps go to 5-3-2. Calgary's 5-5. Number 1 star of the game with 2 assists, Johnny Gaudreau. Number 2 star of the game with 2 assists, Evgeny Kuznetsov. Number 3 star of the game with a goal, Matt Tkachuk. The Maple Leafs defeat the Jets 3-2. The Leafs come from behind and improve to 8-3 in the year. Winnipeg 7-4-1. Austin Matthews left with an injury, but Toronto rallies and wins. Number 1 star of the game with the goal, Kasperi Kapanen. Number 2 star of the game with 2 assists, Mitch Marner. Number 3 star of the game with the goal, Jake Gardiner. The Jackets defeated the Sabres 5-4 in overtime. Good win for Columbus as they go to 6-4. Buffalo drops to 6-1. The number 1 star of the game with 2 goals and assists, including the overtime winner, Artemi Panarin. Number 2 star of the game with 2 goals and assists, Cam Atkinson. Number 3 star of the game with a goal and 2 assists, Pierre-Luc Dubois. The Blues defeated the Blackhawks 7-3. Impressive win for St. Louis to go to 3-4-3 on the year. Chicago drops to 6-3-2. Number 1 star of the game with a goal and 2 assists, Ryan O'Reilly. Number 2 star of the game with 2 goals, Vladimir Tarasenko. Number 3 star of the game with 2 goals and assists, Patrick Kane. Who leads the league in goals, by the way. The Wild defeat the Avalanche 3-2. The Wild go to 6-2-2. Avalanche 7-3-2. Number 1 star of the game with a goal and assist, Eric Stahl. Number 2 star of the game with a goal and assist, Mikael Granlund. Number 3 star of the game with 30 saves on 32 shots, Devin Dubnyk. The Coyotes defeat the Lightning 7-1. Impressive win for them as they go to 5-5. Tampa drops to 7-2-1. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Michael Grabner. Number 2 star of the game with 30 saves on 31 shots, Antti Ranta. And the number 3 star of the game with a goal and assist, Vinny Hinostroza. The Penguins defeat the Canucks 5-0. Impressive win for Pittsburgh as they go to 6-1-2. Vancouver drops to 6-6. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals and assists, Evgeny Malkin. Number 2 star of the game, 29 saves on 29 shots, Casey DeSmith. Number 3 star of the game with 2 goals, Sidney Crosby. Today's hockey slate at 3:30, you have the Rangers and the Kings. 2 bad teams, well, one bad by design and the other is an underachiever. At 5 o'clock, you have the Stars and the Red Wings, as well as Islanders Hurricanes. 6 o'clock on NHL Network, Oilers Blackhawks. That's a nice one from Chicago. 8 o'clock, Senators Golden Knights and Sharks Ducks. Sharks Ducks is actually a great game. I don't get why that's not on NBC Sportsnet or whatever. It's probably because of the football. If that was a game in January or February, then that would be airing on the NBC Sports Network. All right, let's go over today's NFL slate real quick. On right now from London is Eagles-Jaguars. Eagles have a 17-6 lead as Wendell Smallwood just caught a 36-yard pass from Carson Wentz to blow the game open a little bit. 1 o'clock slate, you have the Broncos and the Chiefs from Kansas City. Let's see if the Chiefs continue to undefeated against the spread trend. And I'll give you any updates from the Eagles-Jaguars game as the podcast goes along, assuming I'm still doing this. Browns-Steelers. Let's see if the Steelers put together a big performance, as most people expect them to do. And talk about coaches getting fired. Maybe Hugh Jackson if they lose this game. Don't rule it out. Redskins-Giants. I don't get why Washington's only -1. The Giants just traded away 2 players on their defense. They're 1-6. And the Redskins are in first place in their division. Like, are they expecting a letdown after that Cowboy win? Maybe. I can see that. Because that'd be so Redskins to do that. But I expect Washington to go out there and win by double digits today. You have the Seahawks and the Lions. This is one of the upsets I picked. This is the Seahawks' first game since the passing of owner Paul Allen. So I expect them to go out and play hard. Detroit, coming off a good win. This would be a classic spot for them to flop. Bucks-Bengals. There's some people that think that the Bucks are pulling off this outright upset, such as former Caesars odds maker and current star on Fox Sports 1's show, Lock It In, Todd Furman. He was all over the Buccaneers, and he is an excellent degenerator. But I disagree with him. I think the Bengals are going to come out there and win by double digits. You have the Jets and the Bears. This is another team I expect to win by double digits in the Bears. I think the Jets have a little bit of a letdown after their little homestand. And the Bears are just due for a big win, and that is a logical spot for it against an inferior opponent in the Jets. And they are laying 9. You have the Ravens and the Panthers. The Ravens are 2.5-point road favorites. I don't get that. Carolina, to me, should be favored by 3. And I expect them to go out and pull off the slim home upset in a game that, let's face it, I think Carolina needs it. And the Ravens are going to be looking at the Pittsburgh, who's coming to town next week. So that's just a classic spot for Cam Newton to rise. You have the Colts and the Raiders. Now we're into the 4 o'clock games. Colts are only favored by 3. And this is another one I don't get. I think the Colts should be bigger favorites, but they have some injuries, so that explains why. And then the Raiders in home field advantage. Maybe the Raiders will come out and play hard, even though they don't have Amari Cooper anymore. 4:25 on Fox, you have the 49ers and the Cardinals. This is arguably the 2 worst teams in the league going at it. And the Packers and the Rams. I'm curious to see if Joe Buck is calling this game. They're saying that Tom Brenneman is calling it. But Joe Buck has a golden opportunity to do what he did 7 years ago, and that's call 2 games in the same day in the same city. He did it in San Francisco 7 years ago. He called the Giants-49ers regular season game. Then he called, I believe it was the NLCS between the Cardinals and the Giants when it was in San Francisco. And he has a golden opportunity to do it here, as called the Rams game at the Coliseum, then go over to Dodger Stadium to call Game 5 of the World Series. He should do that, but I don't know if he will. So there's a little intrigue there. And let's see if the Rams win yet again by double digits. And this time will be a tough ask against Aaron Rodgers. Although it really shouldn't be that tough of an ask because this isn't the Packers of old. And tonight, which is the biggest game of the weekend, the Saints at the Vikings, the rematch of the famous Minneapolis Miracle in which Stephon Diggs caught that touchdown pass from Case Keenum to walk it off. That was just a fantastic game. I think the Vikings are going to win. They're a 2-point underdog. I don't get why they're an underdog in this spot. They're getting a boost in their defense with the return of Everson Griffin. That's going to ignite that defense. I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota wins by double digits. I think it's a 3-point game in favor of the Vikings. But yeah, that should be a good game in Minnesota. I cannot wait for that. And then tomorrow night's a stinker. It's Patriots-Bills. And we'll talk about that game more on tomorrow's podcast. That's it for today. I'm going to recap Game 5 of the World Series, as well as all the NFL, NBA, and NHL action. We'll get into more of the Ty Lue firing. We'll get into my college football power rankings that I do each and every week. And, by the way, Blake Bortles' touchdown pass to D.D. Westbrook to make it a 17-13 game. So, hope you guys have a great day, everybody.